Hey everybody, this is Captain Yeet here for you for the Young Justice Outsiders Season 3 episode review. This is going to be Young Justice Outsiders Season 3 episode 14 titled Influence. So let's get into it. So the beginning of the episode starts off with Hawkman, Hawkwoman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Guy Gardner Green Lantern all on Thanagar. That's the home planet of Hawkman and Hawkwoman. So while they're there, there's a bunch of Thanagars that are dead and they're trying to figure out exactly how did this happen. Now at first they're assuming these were parademons coming in with a boom tube, but the way these guys are dead and the way that everything's just happened here, does not really fit in the MO of the parademons. Also, there's no trace of a boom tube, so they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're also talking about how they stole this rare, well, it's a rare material out in space, but it's not rare material on Thanagar, but they stole this material, and while they're trying to figure out what's happening, they're talking to this like commander of the Thanagars, and he's specifically getting really mad because number one, the only type of things that they can trace here are human DNA, and they tried to explain to him that, hey, we told you that they're kidnapping kids, activating the metagenes, mind controlling them. But he goes, yeah, whatever. It's mind control this, mind control that. I mean, didn't you guys get mind control before, supposedly? And they're like, we showed you the evidence. Yes, we can. Like, what? Like, I can't understand getting mad that it's always mind control, but we showed you clear evidence that that's what's happening. He goes, if this just keeps happening, like the mind controlling, taking these meta kids out into space and doing this kind of stuff, maybe we should just send some Thanagarians, and I think that's the word you're supposed to say, the Thanagarians out to Earth to quarantine it. Now, this doesn't happen specifically in this season or next season, but it would be kind of cool if Young Justice ever get like a season 5 or 6 if they do that storyline. I don't know if that's like a storyline in the comics, but I know they did that in that not Young Justice. I was gonna say the old Young Justice cartoon. That was at the tip of my tongue. I know they did that in the old Justice League cartoon where a bunch of Thanagarians or like probably like the whole planet came to Earth to take control of it, and Hawkgirl like betrayed the Justice League. Now I don't know if that was Justice League or Justice League Unlimited. It was one of those two, but I know that's a storyline that happened. Here's a really cool shot of the team I told you that's talking to the commander. So anyway, they're going back and forth on this, and eventually he tells them to leave, and so they do leave. This is one little funny joke to where the Thanagar general calls, I forgot who he specifically called it. It might have been Superman. He calls him a word. Now, Guy Gardner says, now the ring can't specifically translate that word, but I can tell you what it means. Superman goes, no, I understand. I'm pretty sure I understand what he called me, so they start to fly away. Now, after they fly away, Guy Gardner said that he did his own scanning and he picked up an ion trail. An ion trail means that this wasn't a boom tube, but whoever killed all these people had their own spaceship with their own energy, and I can track the energy. Don't you guys love me now? Come on, kiss the ring. I know you want to kiss the ring. They tell him to shut up. And they're like, come on, guys, please shut up. Let's just get it moving. So they start to fly away. After they fly away, we get the title card for the episode. Let me just skip it. Oh, I can skip it. I said it, but I didn't know I could skip it so quickly. Then we go over to Mount Justice at the beach. When we go over there, we get this funny little scene to where Tara, Brion, Violet, Victor, and Forge are all eating breakfast sandwiches. And while they're eating breakfast sandwiches, Violet's like, what? You never had a breakfast sandwich before, Tara? This is so delicious. Obviously, Brion explains that, we were raised as a prince and a princess, so finger food wasn't exactly common for us to eat. Cyborg tries to be funny, saying, oh, you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, huh? And he goes, yeah. But you had to face, regular economic hardships as your dad was a scientist? No. No, he did not, which is true. I mean, come on, because his dad even said he was like one of the top scientists in the world, and he worked at Star Labs. You know he was making bank. That boy, he was making bank, boy. We never saw that house, but I know that house must have been pimping, boy. You know he was just making buttloads of money. So yeah, he didn't really have to really face that kind of stuff. Normal people did. Anyway, Nightwing, Superboy, and Artemis all tells them that besides from Victor, they strongly think that Forager, Brion, Violet, and Terra shall all join the Justice League slash the team. Now, obviously, they don't specifically have to do this. This is just yeah. Sorry, I'm stuttering. This is just a suggestion. Sorry, it took me so long to say that one word. This is just a suggestion, and they specifically go down the details to specifically why this could be a good thing they could do or a bad thing. Now, one reason they say that they don't specifically have to join the team if they don't want to, because they did more than enough just by going to Balialia and saving all those kids. Like just doing that was more than enough for a lifetime of like superhero work for them. So they don't have to do this. That's number one. Number two, they also say that you don't have to specifically join the front lines to fight the good fight if you do want to fight the good fight, because they bring up examples like Gar from Atlantis and one Themysciran that fight the good fight inside the system, like they're politicians, so they don't have to fight on the front lines, like putting their lives in danger. They could, and they did, but they don't specifically have to. And they also mention that if you do this, obviously there's going to be some hardships. Like you could get really hurt, you could die, and other people around you could die. They also bring up specifically Wally West, how him and Artemis, they did fight the good fight when they were younger. Then they got out of it. They had a house. They were like living together, and eventually they get back into the game, and he sacrificed himself, Wally West, to protect the whole world. And those type of hardships can happen while in the field. And there's no judgment if you do decide to stay in the good fight and fight with the team, or if you decide to not fight the good fight and stay out of the team. Like there's no judgment at all. This is your big decision to make. And Violet goes, "Oh, so today's the day we have to make this decision?" Nightwing goes, "Yes, today's the day." I could not stop thinking about episode one because today's the day. Today's the day. And it wasn't really like, episode one wasn't like a big decision like this. Like, like do you want to join this really big team? Like, it was different. But I started thinking about that a lot. Like today's the day. Today's the day. And before I continue, there's one more shot I do specifically want to show of Nightwing, Superboy, and Artemis all standing together talking to Brion and everybody. But they have to make this decision to think about, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, you guys probably know what decision they're probably gonna make, but still, you got to be kidding me. I'm waiting for this one shot to pop up with the three of them, but it's not showing up. Okay, I'm back. I finally got the shot. I was trying to find it for so long, but I kept skipping throughout the episode to get the other scenes that I showed. But here's a really cool shot of all three of them standing together. I really like it. So, let me turn my camera back around. Okay, let me just skip forward a little bit. Sorry about that. On HBO Max, I finally got it back, as you see, because it looks a lot better. It's a full screen. I'm not using what I used to use for Young Justice, but it doesn't really show the little box that pops up like on Netflix, so I have to like skip really fast to even get that up here. After that, we go over to the news, and on the news, Aqualad/Aquaman is giving like a big service announcement about the Goody Goggles, about how they're evil, they mind control you. We're recalling all of them. Now, when he does this, I started to think about this idea that the bad guys had was somewhat smart and somewhat stupid, because the Goody Goggles were able to be out there and enslave a bunch of kids for like maybe, I don't know the time frame, but let's say around like 3 to 4 months. But I was thinking to myself, these aren't sold just specifically on the black market. These are sold everywhere to the public. So did the bad guys not think to themselves, what's the possibility of any of the good guys getting them? Because they all know. 'Cause remember the episode with Ocean Master? They know that they all have kids. Well, not all of them, but a good chunk of them. They have kids and younger people around them, and they have spouses and husbands that are regular people too, or even just anyone else that's even like a younger member of the team, like Static Shock or Impulse, or any like the younger members too, that's not like a kid, they could buy a Goody Goggle because it's like a VR headset. So they never thought like, what's the possibility of them buying this and then it would control them. Now, obviously, they don't have the DNA signature of every single Justice League member. So if I was the bag, I would be like, okay, let's sell this to the public. But if it scans someone that's a Justice League member or part of the team, then like the whole mind control thing will shut off and it would just act like a regular Goody Goggle. That would make more sense. But I guess that'd be kind of hard to do for all of them. I don't know, but I was thinking they never thought like, what's the possibility of a good guy buying this? It's like come on, not like a good guy's not gonna buy a VR headset. We know that they use younger kids; they could easily buy a VR headset. But anyway, he does a big public service announcement about it. Then we go over to Lex Luthor on the news. He's talking about how like this is just not true. They should be worried about other stuff. Just trying to dog on the Justice League any way he can. Then we go over to we go over to G. Gordon on the news. He's trying to dog the Justice League and dog Lex Luthor. And in the conversation he has with Granny Goodness, he specifically states that Commissioner Gordon took down the bat signal, which is wild. I don't know why he would do that, because I mean, you could say, well, he left the Justice League. He's not doing official justice work, I guess. But before he joined the Justice League, he was doing his Batman stuff, and they had the bat signal. So, what's the difference now? I mean, I guess he was going on straight, sort of, and now he's not. I don't know. I don't see what the problem is now with the bat signal since he used to have it when he wasn't with the Justice League. But anyway, that's one thing he mentions in the conversation. Another thing in this conversation, Granny Goodness said it was specifically someone else that made the Goody Goggles evil, but they were gonna arrest them, but they died last year. I'm like, who is this? I was thinking about Beast Boy's stepdad. For no, because he has his godfather that was in the episode 2 weeks ago, and he also had the stepdad Mento, but Mento's alive. The stepdad is he said last year, he's still alive too. I mean the Godfather. So I don't know who this person was. If it's a person I know, that name isn't ringing any bells. I gotta look up who she said. But yeah, it's just like, I had nothing to do with this. This wasn't me. But the person that did do this is already dead now. I guess it's like somewhat cosmic justice or poetic justice, I guess. And Beast Boy is watching the news on his phone. Now that happened, he gets up, he looks really mad, he's walking around town, and this random guy steals his lady's purse, and so Beast Boy turns into a gorilla, grabs him, and gives the purse back. The lady's like, "Oh my goodness, you're Beast Boy! I can't believe it. Let me take a picture." Takes a picture, hashtags it, puts it on, I guess this universe is like Twitter or Instagram, and it's like blowing up online. Then we cut over to Granny Goodness talking to Beast Boy, like, hey, we're supposed to, I mean, our actors are supposed to show their best foot forward out in public to make us look good. And you're doing great. I mean, look at the views on this. Your mother would be so proud. As soon as he says that, Beast Boy snaps. Don't talk about my mother. I know what you are because obviously he figured out that she's a bad guy now. So don't ever, like, get around me anymore. Now, she tells Beast Boy, you don't know who or what I am. So I recommend you watch your mouth and respect your elders. He tells her to bring it and gets in her face. We go over to Guy Gardner, and Guy Gardner's flying around in space while everybody yells on that team I showed you at the beginning of the episode with Superman, Hawkman, and Hawkwoman, and Wonder Woman, then a spaceship flying behind Guy Gardner. Now, Guy Gardner is singing a song, and at the end of the song, it specifically states that everyone loves look at Guy Gardner's, and he points at his butt. He's not going to say the word butt, but they cut off communication with him so they don't have to hear that. And then Hawkman, he specifically calls Guy Gardner that word that the commander called Superman at the beginning of the episode. And yeah, we gotta know what it means. Well, actually, I'm not gonna lie, I don't. I mean, it could be. I don't know. I don't know. Well, actually, well, maybe the A word or a dumb A. I don't know, but anyway, Superman walks into the cockpit. When he does, he uses his supervision to look forward. And when he does that, he sees this gigantic space station that's 2 times bigger than the. Oh wait, was that this conversation? No, 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 no. This is something else about the Watchtower later on. But there's a space station that's 2 times bigger than the Watchtower, and this is what it looks like. And by the looks of it, it looks like, and it is confirmed it is run by Darkseid, and it has a buttload of apocalyptic tech up there, which is bad. That is very, very bad. So then we go over to the actual Watchtower, and it looks like, hey, all of them are joining the team. And it's really funny because Geoforce and Terra's. Oh, yeah, can someone tell me the comics? Does Terra have a superhero name? I just always known Terra from the Teen Titans cartoon when I was a kid, and they just called her Terra. Even in this, they just called her Terra. I don't remember her getting a superhero name. If she does, I forgot because it's been so long since I watched season 3 and 4. But yeah, Terra's outfit looks basically just like Geoforce outfits, would make sense. But the only problem with the outfit is their face is showing, like their whole face. Like they're not gonna cover up or, or anything. At least get the Robin mask or something. Like it's just so funny. It's their whole face showing. Like they just don't care. They just don't care, which is funny. But yeah, they all decided they joined the team, which is good. After they all decided to join the team, McGann says that she's really happy that there's another alien on the team, talking to Forger, and Artemis says she's really happy because there's 2 more girls on the team. But then Halo, this scene kind of confused me. So Halo says that when Artemis says that she's really happy that there's 2 more girls on the team, she looks down and she goes, "Girl." I honestly don't know if I'm a girl or a boy, despite my outward appearance. And they start to mention about how, see, the original girl, Gabrielle, she died and the mother box soul took over the body. So it just kind of made it seem like she didn't know what a girl or boy is. So I was like, well, why don't they just give her like a quick. Well, I mean, mother box is like, they know like almost anything. So some they know. And I was also like, well, they could give it like, just like a quick history not history, that's not history, but a quick anatomy lesson to Solomon. I know some people might be like, oh, there she's talking about like I guess the trans thing and the body. but it doesn't really seem like that's what that is because she doesn't say I feel like this or that. She just says I don't know if I'm a boy or girl. Well, I guess she said despite my outward appearance, but it kind of makes it seem like she doesn't know what that is. So I'm like, just show her an anatomy lesson to show her that. But anyway, after she says that does this bother you even though I'm just me? And Brion says, no, that doesn't bother me. And everyone gets really happy. Then Beast Boy, he comes in and he says that he wants to join the team, that Gretchen Good owns the outside hours, but sorry, I'm stuttering. Gretchen Good owns the in the daytime hours with his acting gig, but she doesn't own my outside hours during the nighttime. I want to do everything that I can to go against her. McGann's like, hey, that's good, that's fine, but we can't really send you on too many stealth missions because your powers are too recognizable. That's number one. Number two, I do want to mention that Tara doesn't really talk too much in the beginning when she's with the team, and whenever she doesn't talk too much, she just kind of smiles and looks really happy or annoyed based on whatever somebody says. But she doesn't really talk too much, but you can tell what she's thinking and is somewhat saying whenever she smiles or anything like that, which I find really cute. So after that, they also mentioned that Superboy is rejoining the team in Artemis. Now Brion is just assuming that that they're just joining the team to keep an eye on them. He goes, "No, I just want to spend more time with my fiance." But part of me is like, yeah, and also to keep an eye on them, which wouldn't be bad, it's not gonna be bad, but yeah, we do want to keep an eye on them. Then, yeah, like I said, Beast Boy came in. I guess so. I got ahead of myself. That happened after. But Beast Boy is a part of the team now. Then they go over to the news and we see the Themyscira lady. I gotta remember her name, but the Themyscira lady and Kathleen, they're talking on the news about how Lex Luthor is trying to stronghold the Justice League, how he won't let them go from here or there on certain missions. And they also specifically mentioned that the stronghold in the Justice League and the Hall of Justice. Remember 2 years ago in season two, the Hall of Justice was destroyed during that battle with that giant, well, not giant, but remember that alien with the third eye? That the Hall of Justice got destroyed, and he's strong arming the reconstruction of the Hall of Justice. After that happens, Lex Luthor pops up on the news talking about like they're delusional, this, that, and the third. Then he's also talking to G. Gordon about it. And in this conversation, they specifically mention that there's a satellite above the Watchtower to watch the Watchtower, which really sucks. I didn't really understand the problem with the Watchtower. Everybody was freaking out in season two when they found out about it. I mean, I guess if you didn't tell the world you're gonna put that there, I guess it would be a problem. But the Watchtower is pretty big. I don't know how the world never saw that to begin with. Like it's pretty big. Unless it's like a cloaking device they didn't specifically mention. I don't know how they never noticed about the Watchtower. But they do mention there's a satellite watching the Watchtower, which kind of sucks. That's number one. Number two, Lex Luthor also mentions that being a senator is a lot of work. So his sister is running LexCorp's Industries, and she also made a pretty big donation to the Mediteen Rehabilitation Center. And when they mentioned this, my jaw dropped. I have never heard of Lex Luthor having a sister in my life. Now, at first I was thinking, okay, maybe this is the robot, because it's like a robot that he has, his robot assistants. I think in the comics it looks a lot like Lois Lane. In the Young Justice show, it doesn't really look like Lois Lane that much, but it is a robot that he has, his robot assistant. But I was like, well, that wouldn't really make too much sense because if he never had a sister before this whole time, then out of nowhere his robot assistant is posing as his sister. Why is that not in the files in your history? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I guess you can't really make up a sister, but I never heard of him having a sister before. I don't know if it's just specifically for Young Justice or this is like a deep cut sort of thing he has in the comics, but don't really use that anymore. But that did surprise me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, what? A sister? I never knew he had a sister. That's what the sister looks like. And it's kind of funny because he has a. Actually, I've only ever seen Lex Luthor bald in his adult form. What was his hair color when he was younger? When he had hair, was it a redhead? I mean, I guess so, maybe, but I've never seen a picture of a young Lex Luthor. I've only ever seen Lex Luthor as, when he's Lex Luthor. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. I mean, anyway, we go over to Superman's group, and Guy Gardner and the spaceship is flying towards the space station. And this person that's on the space station is really confused at how they were able to find them. So they use the follow box to translate their communications. When they do that, specifically, Hawkman says, "Okay, we're following the ion trail to the space station." Now, Granny Goodness is in the background, and she goes, "What in the world? A ion trail? We specifically know that we have to use boom tubes wherever we go, so how are they picking up an ion trail?" Then we get introduced to a new character. This character is called Big Barda, or Bertha? No, 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 no. Yeah, it's Big Barda. I don't know too much about Big Barda. I know she is on Darkseid's side. She's a really strong character that can somewhat contend with Superman. I'm pretty sure she dates that terrific guy from the New God. So I'm guessing she turns good. I know there's that one movie where she is a good guy. So I guess she is evil at first, but then she turns good, which kind of is somewhat set up by the end of this episode. But Big Barda, she specifically states that she didn't use a boom tube to go to there. Well, she doesn't specifically say she went to Themyscira. I mean, Theragar, but it's kind of implied, obviously. She didn't use a boom tube when she went there because she wanted to lure them into a trap. That's why she left the ion trap. Now, Granny Goodness in her apocalyptic look gets mad and starts to use this apocalyptic taser. The taser saying, "Oh no no no! What did I always teach you? This is what specifically Big Barda looks like. Really good design. I like it." So she goes, "Oh no no no! What did I always teach you? We only serve Darkseid." That's right. Then the torturer for Darkseid, deceased or whatever his name is, the gross looking guy, he comes out and he just loves torture to where he's like licking his chops seeing this happen. But she goes, "No, I'm not torturing her just to torture her. I'm torturing her to discipline her." And then eventually they start to rain fire on Superman's group. Now while they do this, actually let me show that's a pretty good shot. Actually, nah, I'll do it later. So I was gonna show what Granny Goodness looks like in her outfit, her apocalyptic outfit, but it's more of an outward shot. I'm trying to find a really. Actually, let me pause it. Okay, I found it. Sorry about that. I kept trying to find this one specific shot, but when I skipped forward to show the electricity when she was torturing her, it skipped this part. But yeah, this is the shot I was talking about where it shows her in her apocalyptic tech. So they see Superman's group coming in. They start to rain fire on them with a bunch of lasers. Guy Gardner makes a gigantic shield with his ring to block the lasers, but the apocalyptic tech is really strong. So every time, oh no, I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry. We go over to sorry, I got ahead of myself. After that happened, we go over to Brion. Hey, Brion, Victor. I don't know why they don't just stay in the house. This is a okay. Yeah, actually, yeah. I'm gonna get into this. Look at how big this house is. Why don't Brion and Victor get their own room in this house? This house is gigantic. Look at this. There's no way they don't have like a spare room. Because at first it was just Brion, but he was still staying outside. Like what? There's no like you. I don't know why they don't just stay inside another this tiny RV. But anyway, they're in the RV, Victor, Brion, and Forager, and Brion is like freaking out that he went to space. This was so cool. He never thought he'll go to space in his lifetime. So he goes, "Hey, Victor, you should go to space too one day to the Watchtower." He goes, "No, no, no. The whole superhero thing is not my thing. The only space I need is my own. And I'm getting sick of your phone dinging all the time with Violet texting you." Now, nothing happens for like 3 seconds, but then his phone dings. He picks up his phone, and the text is from Violet. So him and Forger both look at each other, and I don't care what movie or TV show it is. Anytime two characters look at each other like this, it is always so funny to me. I don't know why, but it always cracks it up. So they look at each other, and they're like, "What? It it was from Violet. How did you know?" He goes, "Well, she's always texting you." Then he walks outside and he starts to rub the metal part of his face. And that is the thing with Cyborg, right? They don't really show it in the Teen Titans cartoon from 2005, but he can hack into like systems and phones and stuff just by not even like, typing on them. He can just sort of go into it, right? I know they did that in the Justice League movie in the not the remake but the extended version of like 4 hours in the original. That's not really a thing he does normally in the 2005 cartoon, but I guess he kind of did that on accident and he didn't realize. It's kind of wild he saw the message coming into the phone before the message even got in the phone, which is crazy. But here's the scene I was talking about. Like I said, no matter what franchise or anything like this, whenever two characters look at each other, it is just so funny. Like that's always cracks me up. What? Like just looking at each other like that. So then after that we go over to um Artemis's house and Tara's walking the dog. I don't know what Halo's supposed because they said that Leon, the kid from Red Arrow, spilled some juice and they call Violet in. So I don't know what she's supposed to do with her powers. I guess he makes a tiny boom tube to make the the juice just go somewhere else, which is kind of hey, you know what? That'd be kind of cool. Makes a boom tube on the table, grabs like the spilled whatever, and make another boom tube that goes into like the sink or something. Hey, yeah, that'd be kind of a cool use of the powers. Yeah, I guess you could do that. But that's all happening. I do love this one little scene with the kid of Red Arrow, Leon, where as soon as Artemis says, "Hey, Leon, spill some juice," she goes, "Not me, not me." I thought that was a really cute scene. Anyway, after that happens, Dr. Chase, she tells Black Lightning that she feels kind of useless. Everybody else is able to help out all these kids in so many different ways, but she can't do anything. So she wants to try to help out Victor with his stuff. She says, but the only way she can help out Victor is if she's able to get a lab with all the equipment that she needs. Now, while she's saying this, Tara's outside recording everything she's saying, and she sends it to Deathstroke. Oh man, like, I like Tara a lot. Like her design in this in Young Justice is really cute. I really like Tara in general, just from Teen Titans. But just backstabbing them. I mean, we get an explanation, but still, it's just my first time watching this. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me! What? Like, she's still working with them, even with the chip off of them. Now, I'm pretty sure the chip probably forced her to kill people. I doubt she really wants to kill people, but still, but just still back. Oh, we get an explanation though, but that's later on. Later on. Anyway, after that, we go over to what I was talking about. I'm so sorry, I get way ahead of myself. Where we see the space station shooting at Superman's group. Guy Gardner makes the shield. Apocalyptic tech is really strong, so the shield keeps tracking, but he keeps it on. Then they try to sneak into the space station in a pretty good way. So the space station pulls up a force field whenever they're shooting back at them. They have a bomb that's really powerful that can go through the force field, and so Superman, Wonder Woman, and Hawk Girl fly to the side, and as soon as the bomb or the missile blows up, that's when they punch a hole in the side. So at first, Big Barda is assuming that was the missile, but no, that was Superman's group, and they're able to see them on the cams. So while Superman's group is walking around trying to figure out what they're gonna find here, they see like 20 plus kids. These are the 8 kids that they missed in Markovia in the beginning of the season, plus like a dozen plus more. And so obviously we have to save these kids. That's number one. Number two, they start to walk around and they find this really big machine. They have no idea what this machine does, but they scan it and it does have some of the materials that they've been stealing. Even Hawkman does mention that, I forgot, but when they mention that Darkseid stole some sort of material from not Themyscira, I said Themyscira again, but when Darkseid stole some common material from Thanagar, the Hawkman mentions that's another rare material on Darkseid's list. So he's been going around taking these materials for a while now. But after that happens, the Furies come out. And the Furies is Big Barda and 2 other ladies. Now, these 2 other ladies, I don't know who they are. I don't know who these 2 other ladies are. I know who Big Barda is. So she comes in with the 2 other ladies. Big Barda, she fights Superman. And she is strong enough to somewhat contend with Superman. So she fights against Superman. Superman tells her, hey, I don't want to hurt you. She says, that's good. It makes it easier for me to hurt you. The one with the whip fights Hawk Girl. And the one with like the sword thingy fights Wonder Woman. So while they're fighting, not Mother Goodness, Granny Goodness, she comes out with the seed and she tells them, look, stop telling me that the machine isn't ready. I know that, but if they destroyed the machine before we can finish it, do you want to explain the dark side of what happened? He goes, no, no. So she activates the machine. Now the machine makes a yellow wave of energy. Now the wave of energy doesn't go everywhere. It just mainly contains the spot where all the fighting is happening. But whatever this wave of energy is, it is so strong and so powerful with like these little dark beads that it's even making Superman wail in pain. Now he's not crying or anything. Well, I don't think he's not crying, but he's holding his head, he's screaming and yelling. Like this thing is so strong, he's even making Superman go, oh, like what is this? Everybody's holding their head, screaming in pain. So Superman grabs Big Barda, flies out the energy. Wonder Woman sees this, grabs her opponent with her lasso. She tries to fly out, but she doesn't. Hawk Girl sees this. She tries to fly out, but she doesn't grab her opponent. She's like, I'm not saving them. It's kind of funny, but she like, the first two, all right, let's save our enemy. The third one, nah, I'm not, I'm not doing that. But they all fly out the energy. Superman's able to get out the energy, like I said, use his laser eyes to destroy the control panel, and then he goes, "Hey, look, they're up there." So him, oh yeah, and Big Barda also goes, "What? You saved me?" Kind of starts to, turn the wheels on the redemption. So they all fly up to go fight Granny Goodness, but she creates a boom tube and they fly into it. The boom tube leads outside into space. They're choking because there's no air, but then Guy Gardner comes in, creates a bubble around them, and they're okie dokie. But then a gigantic boom tube opens up and it teleports the space station away. That is crazy. That's like the biggest boom tube we ever seen, right? I mean, like you see how big this space station is, and this boom tube takes it away. Now, that's crazy. But the boom tube takes the space station away, and while this is happening, we hear what Granny Goodness was saying, like that little monologues he had with Lex Luthor. That's like overplayed when all of this is happening, and Guy Gardner and everybody else is just dumbfounded because look how big this boom tube is. Like that's crazy. That is so crazy. That boom tube is so big. Let me just, I'm trying not to check the screen too much. All right, I'm trying to focus. But after that happens, we cut over to somebody's computer where we see Lex Luthor giving the donation and we see Superboy, I mean, Aqualand talking, like all the stuff we saw in the news. We see that on a computer screen and we see someone clicking off all the tabs. Then at the very end, we see Beast Boy. It was him, it was his computer. He closes it and then we get the credits. And the credits this week is Wolf sleeping on top of the RV, and that's it. So that's the episode for you guys today. So, ooh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was gonna mention in my I asked you guys on a video that are you guys okay with me not showing myself anymore? Like you guys think the videos are better or worse on my Kolioko review, and Richie Poe commented. They were the only person that commented. Thank you so much that they don't mind me not being on the screen. So I guess the videos are still just as good as before. And I thank them for that. And I was gonna thank them personally on the video. In my mind, I was gonna say at the very beginning of the episode of this episode because I was like, I doubt anyone's gonna make it at 30 minutes, but oh, I'm so stupid. I was gonna say in the beginning. I just remember that. I hate when I do that. I guess if you didn't see this, I'll say it again at the beginning of. Well, today's Monday when I upload this, so I guess Wednesday. I guess the next Kolioko episode review. If you didn't see this, I'm so sorry. I'm so stupid. I hate when I do this. I'll remember it. Like what really makes me mad about it, I'll remember because in my mind I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna say this at the beginning, and I just start talking about the episode, and I just forgot about it. Oh, until my mind just cleared. I'm sorry. I should have said at the beginning. If you didn't make it this far, I'll just say at the beginning of Kolioko. But okay, like, share, and subscribe. I see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I thank you all for being wonderful human beings out there, and I see you all next time. Bye bye. All right.